Evan's a super reliable defender. He's where he needs to be all the time. He's aggressive. He's able to make a shot off the dribble. He couldn't get the ball to fall like he normally does, but he still made enough to kind of keep us hanging around. And I just think it was one of those decisions where, again, I thought we would play small late, and because they killed us when they went small, I thought, for most of the game.
Welcome back to the show for part 2 here. Before we go to the Grand Slam play of the game, we got to talk about Evan Turner's really remarkably uneven night. So in the first half, I was tweeting about it like crazy. He went 1 for 7 from the field. Pretty much all of his shots were like from 18 feet out, and it was a complete disaster. Then he comes out for the second half. He ends up finishing 6 for 18, so he shot 5 for 11 in the second half, not as bad. But he was more of a playmaker, and he had 9 rebounds in the game, and he played pretty solid defense for most of the second half. And Brad Stevens talked about the fact that Turner, he feels like Turner's reliable, and we've seen throughout most of Turner's career here that while he seems to be inconsistent on the kind of like a 3-game basis, stuff like that, he tends to always get out there and at least get the assignments from Stevens. And this year he seems to be more generally consistent, and even if he has some really ugly stretches in the game, it tends to kind of even out over time.
It does. He's one of those guys, obviously he packs the box score. We've seen that from him quite a bit. His 3-point percentage is in the toilet. He's in the teens at this point. And I mean, it's interesting to watch him continue to try to make, 2 or 3 3-pointers a game when it's just clearly not what he should be doing. I think that speaks to what Brad Stevens is asking from the rest of the team, that he thinks that he should be trying to do that as well. But he honestly brings a lot to this team in terms of, getting not to the rim, although he does do that sometimes, but, getting to that area where he's good and just kind of creating the shots that he likes. And that's really his strength, is creating those shots and then using those shots to find teammates, to create for others off those shots and off the space that he creates in the paint for himself.
Isn't it ironic that the guy whose logo is him going like this for the threes made is shooting like below 20% almost at this point from downtown?
It is. It's still a great logo, just completely inaccurate.
I mean, he can talk a good game. There's one thing, we were talking about it off the air. He is just like quotes gold right now. He's been on fire for like a few weeks now with just a hilarious quote pretty much every single night.
Every single night. He's hilarious. His latest quote was was his latest quote the best of the year?
Yeah, I'd say, yeah.
It's pretty close.
It's my favorite.
Yeah. Another comparison.
So go
to
the beginning of part 1 if you missed it. And let's talk about Ja. It's murder. Ja Jaleel Okafor, see, he's got me there. He is just incredible. He doesn't even need Irv Gotti feeding him the ball. I mean, he is just the perfect 19-year-old post player. I mean, just the footwork is at a 30-year-old's level. The way he passes out of double teams, not only does he just a lot of, I'd say, developing big men, if they get a double team, they can kick it back out to the guy who fed them the ball, but he's looking around fighting shooters that are open. He's doing the kind of stuff that people are praising DeMarcus Cousins for doing last year in his 5th or 6th year in the league. Right. He's 19. He doesn't turn 19 until December 15th this year. Doesn't turn 20 until December 15th. Okafor offensively is just incredible. Defensively, a lot to improve on. And there was a lot of concern about whether he could be an NBA defender coming to the draft. I think we're not really questioning that so much anymore. It's just whether he can be a good enough defender to, I guess, play next to Nerlens Noel.
Right. I don't think he's Al Jefferson in terms of his defense, in terms of his defensive efficiency and talent. I think he's better than that. But offensively, he's incredible. He's passing out, like you said, he's passing out of double teams, but they're skip passes. He's on one side of the lane and he's finding 3-point shooters on the other side, and that's where you get really valuable, back to the basket touches. And obviously his touch is incredible. When he goes up for those little jump hooks, if it hits the rim, it's probably going in. The way he gets the rotation on the ball, he can absorb contact, and he does a spectacular job when he gets the ball in the post. He needs people finding him. That's the biggest issue for them right now. The Celtics had David Lee on him for a while, and the Sixers did not take advantage in the first half, which just really seemed like a huge waste. But when he has a guy one-on-one, he's deadly. When he has a double team, he's a great passer. I think there's a lot to like about him, and Stevens agreed with his pregame comments. He seems to be really impressed with Ja. Ja.
Okay, so let's go to our Grand Slam play of the game. I'm sure you're familiar with Grand Slam by now. It is the app for sports fans in the stands. Whether you're at home and want to see highlights from the fans' perspective, or you're in the Garden here at an NBA stadium somewhere in the world and you want to show off the highlights from your view, go use the Grandstand app. You can download it on the apps at the App Store, or you can go to grandstand.me to check it out. So let's take a look at what happened in the Warriors versus Lakers game last night, 2 nights ago for you watching this now. The Warriors dismantled the Lakers. And, you know, the Warriors, they break the record for best start of the season. They're an incredible team. They're one of the most exciting basketball teams ever, really, to watch. Definitely one of the most in my lifetime. And the thing is, the Lakers made it so easy for them because Kobe Bryant is refusing to acknowledge the fact that he's not 28 years old. And, you know, last year before he got hurt, the team was looking pretty brutal because he decided that he wanted to run an isolation offense through himself. And you're seeing it this year. It's like the same thing, but he is he's so physically diminished compared to even where he was last year, which was a shell of himself before. He can like barely even move down the court. There's this one GIF that was on the top of Reddit the other day was CJ McCollum had like a 30-foot behind, or I guess Kobe had like a 30-foot head start on him. Yeah. And Kobe started sprinting or what looked like a light jog, and McCollum just blew him away that Kobe didn't even defend the shot. It's like it's painful to watch now. And I'm sure a lot of Celtics fans are experiencing just like the ultimate orgasm of Schadenfreude right now, watching Kobe just like miserably limp through his final season, what I assume is his final season. But as someone who loves basketball, it sucks to see. And from a perspective of righteousness, I want to see him acknowledge the fact that he's not that good anymore and adjust to the role. It's ridiculous and it's annoying to watch. And the Lakers offense, or at least their lineup, has a lot of talent, especially offensively. So a lot of talented guys out there that are having their careers stunted by having to be smothered by Kobe.
Well, and obviously it's a lot of young talent, which doesn't always necessarily generate wins, which is what Kobe wants, you know, second most. I think what he wants most is getting some buckets up there. But he
said even if he scored 80 points, he still wouldn't have won the game. So apparently he wants to win.
Right. Well, and he also said he's capable of 35 a night. So we can take everything he says with a grain of salt at this point. The toughest thing to watch with him, you see Dirk Nowitzki, you see Tim Duncan, and these are guys who have adjusted their careers. They know where they're at. Obviously they're bigger, so it's easier to adjust their careers. You know, so much of Kobe's game when he was younger was built off his physical dominance, his quickness, his explosiveness. Those are completely gone. You know, CJ McCollum showed that off the other day. But it's tough to see, especially when Kobe does kind of have the skill set to be a wing who ages nicely. He's got the post-up game. He's got the fadeaway jumper. He's got the mid-range game that a lot of aging players can use. And I think it's over for him. He doesn't have the mentality to accept being, a lesser role on a team the way that Duncan and Nowitzki do, and that's brutal for the Lakers, and it's tough to watch.
Sad. It's a sad note to leave the Garden Report on, but we have to sign off. So, for Tom, I'm Jared. We will see you next time. I will be out Friday. I'll be in Chicago with family, so I'll see you for the one after that. But we should have Sam Packard and Kevin O'Connor filling in for us, so definitely tune in for that show. So that'll do it for us in the Garden Report. The Celtics win 84-80 over the Sixers. Peace out.
Yeah, Boston fans pretty tough, but at the end of the day, we know they're behind us and they're going to rally and stay the course. But they knew we were slacking in the effort division a little bit tonight, and I think everybody in the arena saw that. They saw another team playing harder than us, and they want us to play hard. So we had to step it up, and we got the win.
Did you find something?
No, I don't blame them at all. No, everybody in the gym. I don't blame them. I appreciate them staying the course though.